So I was just like,
Welcome, everybody, to this, welcome, are we on?
Yes.
Welcome, everybody, to tonight's regularly scheduled August 10th, 2026 meeting, and we will start with the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Could we have a roll call, please, Audra?
Mike Joseph.
here.
Katie Otis. Here. Fran Hudson.
Here.
Doris LeBranch.
Here.
And Adam is absent this evening. Lee Trahan.
Here.
And Ray Karen.
Here.
Ooh, do we have any disclosures of conflicts of interest on anything that's going to be discussed tonight at this meeting? I see none. Now would be the time for public comment. If anybody would like to speak tonight on anything that's on the agenda, now would be the time to do it. Is there anybody interested? Up to the podium, please.
I am the unusual, folks. Pass around here.
What?
There you go.
Pass those around there. To share. They came out of my garden. So I'm Linda Merrill. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I am speaking because I'm on
You
the,
want to just give me a couple?
want to be on the
Pass it over to
committee for the event.
Thank you.
Help me out here.
Farmers Market?
Farmers Market.
Yeah, but not that one. There's another one.
Yeah, Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, thank you. So I'm here to just introduce myself, tell you who I am, what I do. Right now, I'm retired. I have lots of time to devote to things. I love to walk. I love the outdoors. I'm an occupational therapist. We believe in helping out individuals, communities, and the blackberries are because I have blackberries in my yard, and I mow them down all the time. And what if we had a place in a park where I could transfer some of those roots where other people could enjoy them? There has to be a spot for that. And there has to be other people that would like to contribute to those sort of things also. So I just wanted to, tell you a little bit about that. I brought this as a demonstration. Isn't it beautiful? Okay. Now, most people would say you wouldn't want to give this to a 4-year-old, but what I say is if you take this beautiful cup, and this is what occupational therapists do, this is why I'm doing this for you, is if you take this beautiful cup and make it accessible to the community, to a 4-year-old, what you do is you drill a hole in the bottom, you put a metal rod, and then fill it with cement and secure it to something. Then the child has an opportunity. They can take art home with them. They can do rubbings on it. So I see a lot of opportunities for parks and recreations, and hope I can be a part of it. So that's all. And if a lot of you don't know me, so that's why I'm here. If you have questions, feel free.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Huh? Oh, you were welcome.
Is there anybody else that'd like to speak? We will close public comment. Could I have a motion to approve the July 13th and July 20th, 2026 minutes as presented?
So move.
Second.
And a vote, please.
Katie Otis,
Yes.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch.
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Ray Karen.
Yes.
Mike Joseph.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0 with one absent.
And now we're going to move on to communications, and the first thing up is the Life Saving Award presentation.
You have to do this on YouTube? Okay.
Good evening. Tonight, we are here to recognize an act that reflects the highest standards of emergency medical services. The Life Saving Award is reserved for those rare moments when training, judgment, and decisive action come together under extraordinary circumstances to preserve human life. It is not given lightly. In this case, we are recognizing an EMT whose calm and focused response to an emergency directly resulted in the preservation of life. His actions, taken under pressure and without hesitation, exemplify the professionalism we expect and rely upon from our fire and EMS department. At this time, I would like to invite Lieutenant Chamberlain forward as I read the citation. On March 14, 2026, Lieutenant Chamberlain demonstrated exceptional professionalism, leadership, and medical expertise while responding to a life-threatening emergency on the Sebasticook River. After Winslow police officers rescued a victim from the icy waters and brought her to shore, Lieutenant Chamberlain assisted in carrying the victim from the frozen river to safety under extremely difficult conditions. Suffering from severe hypothermia and critical condition, the victim required immediate advanced medical intervention. With no paramedic immediately available, the responsibility for the victim's emergency medical care fell to Lieutenant Chamberlain, who had recently earned his advanced EMT certification. Without hesitation, he rapidly assessed the patient's condition, developed an appropriate treatment plan, and provided calm, decisive leadership to the responding personnel. Despite the physical demands of the rescue, the harsh weather conditions, and the intense pressure of the situation, Lieutenant Chamberlain remained composed and delivered exceptional patient care until advanced resources arrived. The victim ultimately made a full recovery. Lieutenant Chamberlain's decisive actions, sound medical judgment, and unwavering commitment to preserving human life directly contributed to that outcome. In recognition for his courage, professionalism, and outstanding service to the citizens of Winslow, Lieutenant Chamberlain is hereby awarded the Life-Saving Award.
Next up, we have the Legislative Sentiment Awards presentation by Senator Searway and Representative Flynn.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Senator Scott Searway, and I represent District 16, which includes Waterville, Winslow, Fairfield, Oakland, and Albion. And I thank you to the Town Council for allowing me to be here tonight. It is a real honor to recognize 3 members of Winslow's public safety community for what they did on March 14th. Lieutenant Brad Hubbard and Officer Todd Burbank of the Winslow Police Department and Lieutenant Eric Chamberlain of the Winslow Fire Department. That afternoon, a 911 caller reported seeing a woman lying on the ice on the Sebasticook River near Garland Road. While the caller was still speaking with dispatch, the woman rolled into the water and disappeared beneath the ice. Lieutenant Hubbard and Officer Burbank responded and immediately understood how serious the situation was. They climbed down the embankment, went out onto the ice, and began trying to locate her. Eventually, they heard the woman moaning beneath the ice. Knowing the danger they were putting themselves in, Brad and Todd broke through the ice, located her in the freezing water, and pulled her out. That was an incredible act of courage, but the rescue did not end when she came out of the river. The woman was severely hypothermic and in serious condition. Lieutenant Eric Chamberlain, a firefighter and EMT, immediately began providing the life-saving care she needed and is credited with performing the actions that kept her alive after Brad and Todd were able to get her out of the water. Each one of these men played a critical role. Brad and Todd found her and got her out of the river, and Eric took over from there and fought to keep her alive. Without that entire chain of response, we very likely would have been talking about a tragedy tonight instead of a life that was saved. And there is something else I wanted to say tonight because I think it is important. I've spent a lot of time around law enforcement officers, 38 years, I think, and just responders over the years. And the people who do this work are usually not looking for an award. They did not choose these careers because they wanted somebody to stand them up in front of the room and applaud them. They got into this work because they wanted to help people. I think in everybody's interview, that's the first thing they say, why you wanted to get into this job. It's because they want to help people. I'm sure if you asked Brad, Todd, or Eric, they would tell you the same, that they were simply doing their jobs that day. But that does not mean we should simply move on and forget that happened. These recognitions are about making sure that their families know what they did. And they are about making sure this community knows what they did. And they are about taking a moment to say that we see the sacrifices of our police officers, firefighters, and EMTs make for us. And we appreciate the heart it takes to do the work. When another human being was in desperate need, these three men did not hesitate. Brad and Todd put their own safety at risk to reach someone trapped beneath the ice, and Eric then used his training and experience to keep her alive. To me, that is what makes someone a hero. It is not the award or the recognition, it is having the heart to step forward when somebody needs you, without stopping to think about what you might get in return. Tonight, I have the privilege of presenting legislative sentiments that Paul Flynn's going to present, Representative Paul Flynn, from the Maine Legislative Recognition, recognizing Lieutenant Brad Hubbard, Officer Todd Burbank, and Lieutenant Eric Chamberlain for their life-saving actions. Brad, Todd, and Eric, I know none of you did what you did that day expecting to be recognized for it. But this community deserves the opportunity to recognize you, and your families deserve to be proud of you. And we deserve the opportunity to simply say thank you. On behalf of the Maine Legislature and people of Winslow, and personally, thank you for your courage, your professionalism, your service, and most importantly, your willingness to be there for another person when she needed you most. Congratulations to all three of you, and thank you for what you do for this community. Thank you.
Far and away, out of all the things that we do as your representatives, is to have an opportunity at moments like this to say thank you. Not just as a resident of the community, and not just as a resident of the area, but as a representative of the entire state of Maine. The state of Maine recognizes what you did that day, and the state of Maine wants to say thank you for what you did that day. And that's what we're here to do this evening. In the legislature, we have sentiments, and I could read this, please, so that the entire state of Maine is telling you how much we appreciate what you did that day. Be it known to all that we, the members of the Senate and House of Representatives, join in recognizing Eric Chamberlain of Waterville, a lieutenant with the Winslow Fire Department who received a life-saving award from the town of Winslow. Lieutenant Chamberlain helped save the life of a woman who had fallen through the ice. We extend our appreciation and best wishes. And it be ordered that this official expression of sentiment be sent forthwith on behalf of the 132nd Legislature and Eric Chamberlain of Waterville, the people of the state of Maine. Signed by Maddie Doughtry, President of the Senate, Ryan Fechtow, Speaker of the House, Secretary of the Senate, Derek Grant, and Robert Hunt, the Clerk of the House. This was sponsored by Senator Searway of Kennebec County, Representative DeBrito of Waterville, and Representative Julia of Waterville. Eric, thank you very much. I got one coming for you, too.
Also, the speech that I gave will be in each one of your folders, so.
Each one of you is going to get one.
Yeah.
This is the fun part for me. I'll enjoy the moment because I love doing this part of my job. Some of it is not real warm and fuzzy. These are the moments where it makes it all worthwhile, not only as a resident of Maine, but as a member of our representative legislature. Be it known to all that we, the members of the Senate and House of Representatives, join in recognizing Todd Burbank of Winslow, an officer with the Winslow Police Department who received a life-saving award from the Winslow Police Department. Officer Burbank and another officer responded to a call on March 14, 2026, and rescued a woman who had fallen through the ice. We extend our appreciation and best wishes. And it be ordered that this official expression of sentiment be sent forthwith on behalf of the 132nd Legislature and all of the people of the state of Maine. Signed the 30th day of April 2026, Maddie Doughtry, Ryan Fechtow, Derek Grant, Robert Hunt, sponsored by Senator Searway, Representative DeBrito of Waterville, and Representative Flynn of Albion. Todd, thank you. Thank you, Todd. Awesome job, brother. We have one more. Be it known to all that we, the members of the Senate and the House of Representatives, join in recognizing Brad Hubert of Vassalboro, a lieutenant with the Winslow Police Department who received a life-saving award from the Winslow Police Department. Lieutenant Hubert and another officer responded to a call on March 14, 2026, and rescued a woman who had fallen through the ice. We extend our appreciation and best wishes. And it be ordered that this official expression of sentiment be sent forthwith on behalf of the 132nd Legislature and all of the people of the state of Maine. Dated the 30th day of April 2026. Maddie Doughtry, Ryan Fechtow, Derek Grant, and Robert Hunt, sponsored by Senator Searway of Kennebec County, Senator Bradstreet of Kennebec County, and Representative Collins of Sydney. Congratulations, Brad. That concludes the entertainment portion of your program. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
On behalf of myself, and I would expect the council, we'd also like to say thank you to all of you as well, and how very, very, very proud we are. You represent well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to boards committee appointments. Could I please have a motion to appoint Linda Merrill, who was the young lady that just got up and was nice enough to share her berries and her information?
So moved.
Second.
And this is to the Parks and Recreation Board. And could we please have a vote?
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LaBranch,
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Ray Karen,
Yes.
Mike Joseph.
Yes.
And Katie Otis.
Yes.
Motion to appoint Linda Merrill to the Parks and Rec Board passes 6-0 and 1 absent.
The next one we have is, could I please have a motion to appoint Michael DeRozier to the Assessment Review Board?
So move.
Second.
And a vote?
Doris LaBranch.
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Ray Karen,
Yes.
Mike Joseph.
Yes.
Katie Otis.
Yes.
And Fran Hudson.
Yes.
Motion to appoint Michael DeRozier to the Assessment Review Board passes 6-0 with 1 absent.
Moving on now to reports of committees and commissions. We'll start with the town manager's report.
Hello again. Under Personnel, Fire Department, Fire Chief Michael Murphy submitted his resignation from the town of Winslow. On behalf of the town, I would like to thank Chief Murphy for his dedicated service and commitment to the community and wish him continued success in his future endeavors. The town manager's office has begun preparations for the recruitment and selection of the town's next fire chief, including the development of a hiring committee, recruitment timeline, and structured selection process. The job has been posted as of today. For the town office code enforcement, the town has entered into a service agreement with iWork for its community development enterprise software package. The new platform will modernize the town's permitting and code enforcement processes by providing online permit applications, inspections, code enforcement case management, and a public citizen portal. Staff training and implementation is currently underway and is expected to improve the operational efficiency in addition to providing a more convenient experience for residents and contractors. Under Moody's Ratings reaffirmed the town of Winslow's AA Insurer credit rating in its report published on July 17, 2026. The Moody's rating is an independent evaluation of the town's financial strength and ability to meet its debt obligations. A AA rating is the second highest credit rating category assigned by Moody's, reflecting very strong financial management and creditworthiness while helping the town secure favorable borrowing terms for future capital projects. Under the economic planning category, capital improvement planning, the town is developing its first 5-year capital improvement plan, building upon the priorities and recommendations identified in the 2023 comprehensive plan. Once completed, the CIP will provide a long-term roadmap for major capital investments and support informed financial decision-making. The plan is anticipated to be presented to the council this fall, hopefully. Under Central Maine Growth Council, the town continues to work with the Central Maine Growth Council, CMGC, to develop a long-term economic development strategy with initial focus on the Bay Street corridor. Planning efforts are expected to begin this fall, with town staff and CMGC working collaboratively to identify opportunities for redevelopment, investment, and long-term economic growth. Under Dangerous Buildings, 17 Marie Street, the town has issued certified notices to the property owner addressing continued property maintenance violations and the failure to comply with the town council's order requiring repairs to the structure. The town owner has until August 15, 2026 to abate the identified violations. Staff will continue to monitor the property and pursue additional enforcement actions as necessary should compliance not be achieved. For 1207 Augusta Road, the compliance period established by the notice of violation has expired without identified violations being corrected. The town is continuing to work with legal counsel to determine the appropriate next steps and will proceed with enforcement in accordance with applicable ordinances and legal requirements. Lastly, vacant and abandoned buildings, notice of violations. The town has received a few confirmations that the notices of violations have been delivered. Code enforcement continues to work with several property owners to achieve compliance with the applicable ordinances. For notices that remain undelivered, the town will coordinate with the Kennebec County Sheriff's Office to complete service and continue the enforcement process. And that ends my report.
Can I just ask on the
Please.
1207 that you was talking about,
Yes.
and that's already expired for the time they
For
were
the-
allotted?
Yes.
Do you have some sort of a time frame on how long it's going to go further?
Yeah, well, the next step would be the dangerous building process. So that timeline kind of fills itself out. I don't have an actual date for that or how long that could take just because that's its own process in itself. But right now, legal has already drafted a letter that should have already been sent, which I will be getting confirmation this week regarding that dangerous building step in the process.
So they're being made aware that we're
Oh, yes. Yep.
moving.
Yep. I have been in contact with the residents, the owners of the property. They're coming up with their own letter from their own legal team, trying to outline how they're going to abate the issue themselves as well. But there's two things going on. There's the property maintenance concerns, and then there's the house structure itself. So for the notice of violation that we sent out regarding the property maintenance, that's the next step is going to be the 80K route, which again only focuses on the property maintenance, which is a massive concern regarding all the biohazards that have been located around the property. And then the next step, the dangerous building process, that's for the structure itself. So there's kind of two different situations kind of working in parallel with each other.
And then my second one is the certified letters that were sent out.
Yes.
The people that did not comply and answer, you stated we'll have the sheriff serve them. How long of a process is that?
Yeah, so the
When would
ones that,
start?
it's not that they didn't reply, so we didn't get confirmation regarding receipt of that. So I'm hoping the next week or two, we're going to have all that finalized to get the sheriff's office on this to locate them, whether they're still in state or if we're going to have to find them out of state.
So in the next week or two, you said
Yes.
you're going to contact sheriff, should be going out?
I would hope by next week, yes.
Okay. That's what I had.
Great. Any other questions?
Yeah, real quick. So the iWork software?
Yes.
When will residents be able to start using
Yeah,
that?
implementation takes a while. This is a massive program, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of data that we need to input ourselves as well. They do a lot of work on their end, which is fantastic, and they're available essentially the same town hours. It's like 8 to 5, 8 to 6. So we're going to have multiple meetings. There's a lot to be trained on it, but once everything's implemented, all the data and information's in the system, it's going to become much easier. And then from there, I'll have an actual window for when it will be available to residents and contractors.
Okay.
So it's a little time consuming in the beginning, especially getting familiar with the program, but I would hope within the next 2 months, tops, absolute tops.
And that's for Amos too, being able to get in
This
there
is
and get
code
all of
enforcement.
it.
This is the admin assistant. This is Vanessa for assessing. This is for myself, for the deputy clerks, for the clerk, Audra. We're all going to have access to this system.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm excited for that. It's going to make
Same
a big
here. It's going to
difference.
really streamline the process. It's going to get rid of all the hard copy paperwork that they're holding on to for the last 70 years and finally have everything. And the best part about it too, we own the data. So if we ever move on from this program, the data comes back to us, all of it. So it belongs to us.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
Through the chair, what's the follow-up on Marie Street, the building on Marie Street?
August 15th is the first deadline for that first NOV. So until that comes in, it's kind of playing the waiting game. But once a week, code goes by, gets updated photos, see what the progress is, and then we just add it to the list.
Has there any progress been made there?
No,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Can you just explain to the people what
Yes.
an NOV is?
Yep, notice of violation. So essentially, when it comes to town ordinances, one of the steps that we take if there's property that's not in compliance is sending out a notice of violation. And in doing so, it kind of puts them on that list of, hey, you have about 30 days to abate the issue. appeal the issue, whatever have you, and then from there, the next step technically would be district court, which is what we're looking at for a lot of these properties if they don't actually come to the table and abate their issues.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Great.
And do we have any other reports?
We do. We have Steve Susi, project manager / economic planner.
Good evening. Steve Susi, Economic Development Planner / Project Manager for the town of Winslow. So I'll point the counselors to the packets that you have, manila folder. The documents in there are the same documents that the residents will see at an upcoming workshop here this Wednesday, right here in the library at 6 p.m. So that's the reason why I'm up here. I just wanted to highlight this activity that's going to be occurring on Wednesday, just to make sure it gets highlighted. It's been on social media. It's been on the town website a few times, so hopefully we'll get good community participation. So what this is a community resilience partnership, and I've been working closely with our partners at Kennebec Valley Council of Governments. They've been really helpful in pointing us in the right direction on how to apply and become part of this partnership. So it's a state-managed program run by the Maine Office of Community Affairs that provides support to communities through community action grants. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about money, right? Free money, potentially, for the town. This program was launched in 2021. I know the town was approached in the past. From what I can tell, all of our surrounding neighbors are part of this partnership. I'm not sure why Winslow isn't, but we're going to jump on this opportunity now. So it's a three-part application process. It starts with a self-assessment. Part two to that self-assessment is a community action list. So you'll see one of the documents in there. It lists all these items. That's most of the community action list. Those are actually projects that you can select from the list and actually work on as a community, and you get grant funding for those projects. The next step is a public workshop, which we'll do on Wednesday, and then hopefully September, we'll present the council with a resolution to commit to this partnership, and we'll be on our way to submitting the application, and we should be in time for the fall grant process. So we could potentially see some funding coming in January, February timeframe. So this provides the town access to grants that range from $5,000 to $75,000 twice a year. And again, if you're working on some of those projects that are in that list or on that list, no match, right? So if you have other projects that kind of fit into the program, you're looking at, I think, a 50% match. If we work with a neighboring community such as Waterville, and we partner on a project, say on the river, whatever, we can access $175,000 in grant funding to help us accomplish these projects. So there's quite a bit of money at hand that we can get our fingers on, so it'll be great for the town. The community action list comprises of 7 strategies, which range from transportation to municipal buildings, clean energy jobs and economy, natural and working lands and waterways, resilient communities, and public awareness and regarding climate impacts. And within there, those projects I was talking about on the community action list, there's 95 different projects to choose from, so there's quite a variety. In the packet, you can see some of the check marks on some of those projects. I think it's the 3rd document in there. It's fairly thick. But it shows you all the strategies. It shows you all of the potential projects. Some of those we've actually started working on. Some of those we've already completed as a town. And there are definitely others that I've got my eyes on that would benefit the town as a whole, and I hope to get my hands on some grant funding. So I just wanted to highlight that. So this Wednesday, right here, Yours truly will be presenting all this information, and I will be seeking feedback from residents. So this is your opportunity to come let the town know how you want to see this money being used. So please show up and participate. It'll be an open forum, and I'll have some little worksheets that you can fill out, and we'll be on our way. Barring any questions, that's all I have.
What time is it, Steve, that workshop?
The workshop is this Wednesday, 6 PM, right here in this room. Yes, sir.
Steve, KV Cog, how are they so would they be the ones doing the grant?
Well, they help facilitate the process. It's actually through an office at the state level, the main office of community affairs. But KV Cog, great partners. They've partnered with us on the CEO stuff. So they're helping us navigate that application process. So they'll kind of be a conduit too when we apply for the grants and whatnot, so.
Because KV Cog, we donate money to KV Cog each year, don't we, with the budget season?
I don't know about donate, we pay a fee.
No, we pay
for
a
their
fee, I'm
services,
sorry.
yeah.
We pay a fee
Yep.
of quite a bit, so, and we've never used them before?
Oh, no, they were pretty important for the 2023 comp plan.
Yeah.
They've been
Oh, yeah.
used. We're just
Okay.
really utilizing their
Using
services
them
now.
more.
Yeah,
Yes.
so when I
Getting up
said,
before?
just to clarify, when I said we haven't used this program before, we haven't used the Community Resilience Partnership.
all right.
We've never applied to this program before for some reason, I don't know why, but, yeah, we use KV Cog all the time.
Okay, I misunderstood what you said, so
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And Steve,
Yes.
how many grants are we looking at?
Well, so you have access to 75, up to 75K twice a year. So depending on your
Per
projects and
grant or
timing,
per total?
for grants, total,
Total.
yep, per year.
Can you cover multiple projects under one grant, or is it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say probably not. I think you'd have to, because there's a lot of timing involved with submitting the grant, and they have timelines throughout the year. So as you're planning a project, you probably have to gear that one grant to this one project. So, yeah, I've got Fort Halifax Park in mind for some grant money, so,
I know.
yeah. 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 Any other questions?
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, thank you for your
Thanks,
time.
Steve.
Appreciate it.
Steve.
Great work, Steve.
Do we have any other reports?
I was just going to add, Steve's doing a great job on the grant side, but also on the capital improvement side, and that was part of the reason why I created that position. I mean, you go back to the transmittal, I have it in there, capital improvement planning. He's been integral building that foundation for it, and it's something that this town has been missing for a very long time. So to be able to start building this from the ground up, creating an actual foundation and framework for long-term financial planning is the most important thing that we're actually doing as a town. My argument for that. But segue off of that, between the capital improvement planning that he's working on, the library and community center, initiative, and doing really the background information and fact finding for that. This for MOCA and for all these extra grants that he's looking for. He's really been doing a lot for somebody that's doing part-time hours right now. So I'm incredibly appreciative of it. I wanted to also add for reports, I know Vanessa included it in her assessing report. The tax commitment is almost at an end. So we're looking at maybe 2 weeks tops. We'll know where we're sitting as a town.
And for those who don't understand, that means what the mill rate will end up being
Yes.
after the tax assessor's finished. Are you all set with those reports?
All set. Thank
Could I
you.
please have a motion to approve all reports as presented?
So move?
Second.
And a vote, please, Audra.
Lee Strahan,
Yes.
Ray Karen,
Yes.
Mike Joseph,
Yes.
Katie Otis.
Yes.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Red Doris LeBranch.
Yes.
Motion to approve all reports passes 6-0, one absent.
Moving on to old business. I'm looking for a motion to approve order number 13-2026, authorization for the town manager to renew the information technology service agreement with the city of Waterville for a one-year term.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anything you'd like to add, Mark?
Yeah, we're still getting a great deal.
That's
So
a good thing.
This is a no-brainer. If we didn't have this contract with Waterville, we would be paying twice as much for these services. So this is a steal.
Very good. Can we get a vote, please?
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Ray Karen,
Yes.
Mike Joseph.
Yes.
Katie Otis.
Yes.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
and Doris LeBranch.
Yes.
Motion to approve order number 13-2026 passes 6-0 with one absent.
Under new business, could I please have a motion to approve ordinance number 06, 2026, providing for Chapter 230, Article 4, road names and numbers of the Town of Winslow Code of Ordinances is hereby amended by replacing all references to the code enforcement officer with the addressing officer appointed by the town manager. This is a public hearing. Correct?
Yes. So just a little background. When we were in between CEOs, code enforcement officers, there was a few cases where we needed some E911 addresses addressed. And this was also before we had Jeff from KV Cog filling in once a week. Per the ordinance, only the CEO can actually change these addresses. So it was really simple to sit there and after figuring this out via MMA and other towns, it's just instead of having the CEO be it, you just allow the town manager to appoint somebody within the town to be able to do it. So this is just an easy fix as far as I'm concerned. This helps us in case we're ever in between code enforcement officers.
Question through the
Wait,
chair.
wait, can we get the motion to approve before we get to discussion?
You want to have public hearing?
I'm sorry?
You don't
Oh,
want
if
to open
anybody
and
would
close
like
your
to
public
speak
hearing?
on the public hearing part of this ordinance? Anybody like to speak? Okay, can we now have a motion to approve the ordinance? 06, 2026?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
And now we'll move on to discussion. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, through the chair. Could you explain to the people here in town, when it says here, it says the road names and numbers in Article 4? And that's through actually providing the Chapter 230, Article 4, road names and numbers. Could you explain that in more detail? Is that changing the names of the streets, and for what reason?
Yeah, so somebody could request a change of address. For instance, there was this one house that was having an issue with mail delivery, and there was something to do with the name of the road, the number that they had. It was getting mixed up with another one, so they simply put in a request to have that changed. It is something that you can do, but there has to be a good reason for why it's getting changed. It also, there needs to be consistency with it because, again, it's E911, so this needs to be conveyed to law enforcement, fire, everybody, medical
Right.
services. So
I just
yeah.
had some people that asked
Oh,
about
okay.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Any other discussion?
So is it the code enforcement officer and the town manager that can make these changes?
I wouldn't be making that change. That would be the code enforcement officer that would be making those changes.
But you would appoint the person?
I would appoint,
Okay.
yes.
What if we didn't have a town manager at that time? Then what happens?
Yeah, so whoever's the interim manager would. You're welcome.
Any other discussions? Can we take a vote?
Ray Karen,
Yes.
Mike Joseph.
Yes.
Katie Otis,
Yes.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch.
Yes.
And Lee Trahan.
Yes.
Motion to approve ordinance number 6-2006 passes 6-0 with one absent.
Moving on to B, can I have a motion to approve order number 14-2026?
So moved.
Sorry.
That's okay. Providing for the authorization for the town manager to approve $10,700 to Codes Application Software for the purpose of covering the funds for the war.
work.
I'm sorry?
I work.
I work.
Oh, I see, iWork program for the Codes and Assessing Office for Junior High Building Maintenance Capital.
So moved.
Okay. Thank you, Doris. I'll second. And do we have discussion?
Yeah, so monies were sitting in an account that aren't being used because there's no longer a Winslow Junior High School building. So this was an easy one. iWork, of course, is the system that I've been talking about, the code enforcement program. And it's better to use money that's already sitting there instead of asking for more. So instead of sitting there and trying to find where to get the funds from, they already exist. They're sitting there doing nothing in this other account. So the request is to have it to get moved over, pay for the program, everything's fine.
We have a lot of money in there?
No, I wish,
Not anymore.
not anymore.
We had some
There's
money?
let me see. We'll go on to the next order after, but
Okay. All right. So that
Are
was,
we in discussion phase now?
Yes.
Are we, through the chair, if I
Yes.
might? The site now, I see it's leveled.
yes.
Is that people going to be able to park there during the games this summer, this winter, fall, I mean?
Yeah, that's going to be a discussion that we're going to have with the school when it comes to that. I would imagine that if there's overflow parking, there's going to have to be some approval for that. So whoever is the one that approves that, I can't say that's necessarily me. But that's, again, this is a site that is long-term planning we're trying to figure out. I know it's been proposed library and community center, but ultimately that's going to fall on the residents to decide how they want that site. Right now, it's a vacant, open lot.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just, people are gonna use it if they get a chance to park.
They very well may.
Is there anything is there anything we need to do before the fall?
At this
to
time-
make sure that that people
Sure.
accessing that is safe and understand the rules of, of use under the present condition?
Yeah, I mean, it's just an empty lot right now, so the conditions should be okay. I mean, long-term, we discussed whether or not we were going to put a fence up around that area, how to handle it, but right now, it didn't make any sense to spend that kind of money to do so. So,
Yeah, I just see people this fall during a football game or other areas are
Sure.
going to be using that area and the access and,
Sure.
how will
yeah,
that
so
be
that's something that's
managed?
going to be a discussion between us, the town, and the school, which I actually happen to have a meeting coming up here very
Okay.
soon, so
Just
that's
as
going to
long
be
as,
discussed.
we don't want, I could see a mess.
Sure.
Just people
Yeah,
coming in and out
donuts.
of the lot.
Yep.
Yeah, just.
no, we didn't lose any parking.
We
just
gained a
lost the
lot of
building.
parking.
If anything, you
right,
gained
right.
it.
All right. But even if you didn't use that area, you didn't take any parking.
No, we didn't, no, but it's close
I know.
to the field, so I think people are gonna
They're going to
are gonna
expect.
say,
They
can
may
I
want
park
to.
here?
They may want to do that. It depends on what we decide on. Again, this is going to be between the town and the school to have a conversation,
Yep,
so.
yep, just as long as it's being addressed.
Of course,
I don't mind.
yes.
Yes, of course.
And through the chair, I have a question with Paul. Is there anything that we have to do with that parking lot right now before anybody uses it? I mean, do we have to fine grade it with fine gravel, or?
That's all gravel.
It's all done now?
It's all gravel.
Okay, so we don't have any concerns with large rocks or anything like
I'm
that?
gonna say no, but I haven't been there for a couple months, but
Okay,
I'm over there, it's fine.
okay, good, thank you, Paul.
Okay, so we have a motion. Now, we had some discussion. Is everybody good? Because we are voting on using the money at this point, so. Can we get a vote, please?
Mike Joseph?
Yes,
Katie Otis?
Yes.
Fran Hudson?
Yes.
Doris LeBranch?
Yes.
Lee Trahan?
Yes.
And Ray Karen?
Yes,
Motion to pass order number 14-2026 passes 6-0 with one absent. And I believe there was thought about waiving the second reading.
That was going to be the follow-up. I was going to request if you guys can waive the second reading. That way we could get this ball rolling now with iWork.
Motion to waive the second reading.
second?
Could I have a roll
Who
call?
was the second? I'm sorry.
I did,
And a vote, please, Audra.
Mike Joseph?
yes.
Katie Otis?
Yes.
Fran Hudson?
Yes.
Doris LeBranch?
Yes.
Lee Trahan?
Yes.
And Ray Karen?
yes.
Motion to pass second reading, motion to pass second reading, there we go, passes 6-0 with one absent.
Moving on to C, motion to approve number 15-2026, providing for authorization for the town manager to appropriate $10,000 from the junior high insurance capital account to the code's property enforcement account Maintenance and code enforcement expenses.
This is the second half of that money.
I'll make that motion.
So moved.
Was that Doris second?
And now, Mark, you can go on to the discussion.
Second half of the money. Again, we're incurring costs, whether or not it's dealing with the properties such as 17 Marie Street, which, as you know, we put a fence around that property recently. So again, the money's sitting there. We're looking to use it and use it appropriately. And this feels like a very appropriate measure to allow code enforcement to carry on with enforcement. And that's why we're requesting this move for the rest of the funds from that account.
Was either one of these, Mark, to purchase the program he needed online, the codes off?
The first
The first one was for that program?
Yes.
Okay.
We haven't purchased it yet. We're in a service agreement, but I've kicked that can until we go through this process and see how we're going to pull the money.
And we're absolutely sure we have no more bills coming for the junior high. All
Yes.
projects are closed out.
Yes. Yep.
If I may, through the chair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Question about that software. I mean, I know there's that upfront cost. What's the maintenance subscription on a yearly basis? You know that?
The yearly cost for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the $10K per year.
Oh, it's
so
per
the
year,
only
okay.
extra cost, the implementation, which was originally $6,000, but because we entered that service agreement early, we knocked off $2,500
Okay.
off that, or I think it was $6,500. So it came down to about $4,000.
Okay. And
That's a one-time,
okay. And then
cost.
the 10,
and then it's $10K per
10K per year.
Yes, and this is you have to. It's an obligated 3-year contract, which is
Okay.
fairly common in most of these programs that you come across.
For that kind of yearly, is there training or anything involved with that?
Oh yes, and they're, again, like I said earlier, their hours of operation, they're out of Utah, so they actually fill our entire town office like hours. I mean, they're available 8 to 5, 8 to 6 in that wheelhouse. But again, when you look at these programs, oftentimes you can find these programs for 2-3 times as much as what this one costs. So it's actually a pretty good deal.
Okay.
I'm just going to break in just for a moment, Lee. This has already been voted on and approved
Right.
and waived, so it's all done.
Okay.
It's happening.
All right. My apologies.
No, you don't need to apologize, but if you still have questions, you can actually speak to Mark, too.
Yep, I will.
So where are we at? We're at a vote, I believe, for order number,
Katie?
15.
Yes.
15.
Doris, Fran Hudson?
yes.
Doris LeBranch?
Yes.
Lee Trahan?
Yes.
Ray Karen?
Yes.
And Mike Joseph?
Yes.
So motion to approve order number 15-2026 passes 6-0 with 1 absent. And
This would be another one that I would request to waive the second reading again, so we could actually apply these funds.
Motion to waive the second reading.
Second.
In the discussion
I
phase.
think we need a first.
just-
Just a first. We need a first. I
Oh,
said
you were in a-
motion two, so
sorry.
I'll first it, and then he
Yeah.
seconded it. How's that?
You know, I've been on the site. We're sure that we're not going to have any other type of expenses for that site right now. We're just sure because,
Yeah, it's done.
okay, okay,
Do you have concerns about the site?
I do.
The whole thing is
Some
we've already
concerns, not a
voted on
lot.
it. We've already voted, so you'd
Yeah, I
have to
know, I
rescind
know.
your vote and start over again.
Nope, I don't. I'm just
Okay.
asking a question. I
Okay.
don't plan on changing my vote. Just asking a question.
Okay, so a vote to waive the second reading?
Yes, we got the first and the second, and now we need the vote.
Katie Otis?
Yes.
Fran Hudson?
Yes.
Doris LeBranch?
Yes.
Lee Trahan?
Yes.
Ray Karen?
Yes.
And Mike Joseph?
Yes.
So motion to pass the second reading 6-0, or 6-0 with 1 absent. There we go. I can't get it right.
Okay, moving on to D, order number 16-2026, an order providing for an election on proposed amendments to the Winslow Town Charter. I sponsored that. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Second?
The discussion is, this is what the committee had come up with for recommendations, and we approved them, and now this is going to send it to the people, because ultimately it is the people's decision. So we have a motion. That's my part of the discussion on what it is. Anybody else?
Through the chair.
Yes.
The legal team from the school, and I also spoke with our legal team. They wanted extra language added to number 6 on that list, which is section 802, number 5. So it says the annual budget for the Department of Education as approved by the town council is subject to referendum approval in accordance with applicable statutes. What they want added is if the school budget is not approved by July 1, then the budget for the school department shall be determined in accordance with applicable law. That's already the case. They just want the words in it. They just want the language. So it's even if the language isn't added, it already exists. That is already.
It exists where? In our charter?
No, it's per the applicable statutes. So it's already a thing. It just explains and gives the date, the July 1 date, which, yes, you can find is per the charter. So me, per our legal team, their legal team, we're all kind of in the same boat where it makes sense. It's just adding a little bit of clarification language to it.
Can you read it one more time?
Sure. The full thing?
Yes.
The annual budget for the Department of Education as approved by the town council is subject to referendum approval in accordance with applicable statutes. If the school budget is not approved by July 1, then the budget for the school department shall be determined in accordance with applicable law.
Like on ours, if it's not approved, it goes back to the previous approved budget. Is that the same thing that theirs? That's pretty vague itself.
That it's going back to the whatever the applicable law is, which is exactly that.
Goes back to the last approved budget?
Correct. So ours, we're specifying that language per the recommendations. We go a little deeper into all the extra, we're going to go back to the previous operating budget, et cetera,
theirs
instead
won't.
of going back to the town manager's proposed budget.
So I guess what I'm asking, I don't know, is it me, am I not understanding? Why wouldn't it say it would automatically go back to the previous approved budget?
This was the language that was offered up.
I don't, through the chair, I don't understand why this has to be changed where they have to go back to the previous budget. Am I correct on that?
So they would automatically go back to that until their new budget is passed, and essentially that was the recommendation from the CRC, the Charter Review Committee, to do that for the town as well. So the school already does that. The language just doesn't specify that, and it doesn't give that date of July 1. So it's just adding a little bit of clarification on the date and what they would do. And again, this was vetted through our legal as well.
So what would the process be do we have to amend? Because we're not voting on the changes here. We already voted on the changes and approved the changes as presented. So now they are coming after we've already approved the changes. So I don't even think we can do that. Because I don't believe we need the school's permission to change the charter. The people are going to decide that.
Sure, yes.
But the wording should have came in when the previous meetings where we already approved the changes to this. To change the wording now, I don't even understand how we do that. So I personally think because we've already, as this council, approved everything as written, it stays. And that's my opinion.
May I just clarify? The council approved the verbiage, then it went to legal, and legal is saying that these changes should be made?
No, the school's making the change, not our legal.
This new change was from their legal team.
We already
that
sent
reached
all
out
of
to
ours
us.
to legal
Yes.
before we decided on it, and legal told us it was good.
Yes.
Maybe at this point in time, there's more clarification that's needed. Maybe we should table this till, is there there's no urgency to this.
There is not, and we do have time, and this was 11th hour request.
So
Meaning today I fielded this.
If I need to have this on the November ballot, there is some urgency to it.
There is, that's why,
Actually,
again.
thank you, because by September it needs to
Because
be
we
the second.
Right, and I need to be able to get a ballot, and that ballot's going to be quite cumbersome and long.
That's why I'm saying now, I don't understand how we can change it as it stands. We've already voted and approved the changes that were brought to us. Legal, we sent and said they're all good, and we voted. So to turn it back now, we don't even have the time to do that, because we'd have to start the whole thing. So I don't agree with doing that.
I have to say, I don't agree with it either. I just don't see it.
I agree with Fran. They came in after the stroke of midnight.
They should have
come
came
in
when
with
we
their
first did it.
recommendations before.
They were presented, everybody was, we had the meetings, we had the votes, we had the public comment, and nothing ever came back to us. It's too late, as Audra just said now. We wouldn't even be able to get it on the referendum in time.
It's, if I might through the chair, it's in the charter. So even if we do not do anything here, it's crystal clear, the procedure for this, for the school budget and what it
Yes.
reverts back to.
It is, and
So-
per our legal team, they said the same thing. They said this is already a fact. All this does is add language to clarify a little bit. That's
So
all it
we
does.
have two options. If we're not clarified here, we can table it, or we can, at this particular time, if the council feels inclined to do so, decline it. So we can either accept it, table it, or decline it.
Yes,
At this point in time.
correct.
Do we need a resolution to decline? How do you decline it?
I
It's a request made, which should have come before tonight. It should have came before right now. And it's not gonna, we can't table it because we don't have time to get it on referendum.
Then we can, it doesn't have,
You don't have to accept.
we don't have
the
to do
changes.
anything.
You don't have to
really,
do anything.
Because
It's a recommendation
clear
that they've
what
asked
it
for.
is. So
Yeah.
if we're not comfortable with this,
Yep.
we take no action on it.
I agree.
Perfect.
I
We
agree.
can take a consensus, but to see if everybody agrees with leaving as is. Decline. I decline.
Same.
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 I think it's the 11th hour. I think it's just, I would say offhand that it's just, it doesn't make any difference. I don't think we need to discuss it or,
So that's all of us unanimous?
Yeah, the committee had their decision. We voted with the committee, and
And we voted with legal, too.
yeah, that too.
Okay. Now I forgot where we were. Okay, so we still, that was the discussion, so now we need the vote to push this to the people, the entire changes that the committee came up with, to come up referendum in November. So that's what we're voting on right now.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch.
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Ray Karen,
yes.
Mike Joseph,
Yes.
and Katie Otis.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0 with one absent.
You have, sorry, you have public hearing will be on September 4th. Is that still going to give you time?
14th.
14th.
I'm sorry, 14th.
Yeah, because you'll be able to approve it then. Legal saying we need a public hearing, and we didn't have time to get that public hearing for this meeting. So
Okay. Do you need a public meeting prior to September 14th, I guess is what I'm asking you?
no, I think that'll be fine.
You're sure it's going to be fine? We don't
Well,
want to
I
mess
mean,
up the referendum part of this, that's
Yeah,
all.
I have all the verbiage, so I can start the ballot process, and as long as everything goes through, I can submit it after that.
Yeah, the timeline works out.
Okay.
'Cause I need to have the ballots by the beginning of October, so that should be okay.
Good, thank you. So now we move on to resolution number 24, 2026. Do I have a motion to approve providing for the adoption of the Town of Winslow policy for administration of the main motor vehicle tax exemption for 100% disabled veterans? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
The discussion part of it is, do you mind if I explain it a little bit?
No, I think honestly, I think you and Audra should take the lead on this because you guys were unknowingly both heavily involved behind the scenes. So
So What happens if you're 100% disabled as a veteran? The state recognizes and appreciates that so much that they forgive your excise tax. If you're 100% disabled only, you only pay like $5 to register your vehicle, depending on if you've got a vanity plate or whatever. So the most you pay for your excise tax when you register your vehicle, as a disabled veteran is $5. Well, what was happening was they were excluding veterans who were leasing vehicles. So an 100% disabled veteran leasing a vehicle wasn't getting that same recognition, even though the excuse for it was, well, your name's not on the title. Well, somebody argued differently and said, well, the name of somebody purchasing a vehicle doesn't have their name on the title either until it's the bank's name. So when you lease a vehicle, it would be the leasing company's name on there. So it's the same thing. But so they were being excluded from this. But somebody took the time to contact state legislature representatives, Susan Collins, and they worked on it. And within 6 months, we got the bill changed. So now every disabled veteran, whether you're leasing or you own or you're getting it through the bank, is going to get that. And I'm just very, very, very proud to say that it was my husband that did that. So I just had to say that because I'm very proud of him. Very proud of him.
If I could add, if you're 100% disabled, you would get a letter from the VA stating that. And if you bring that in, you can have 3 owned vehicles and 3 leased vehicles in your name, that excise tax waived. We do need that when you're registering your vehicle. And if you're looking for a reimbursement of that, if you were charged, then you have 30 days to come in with that letter and get that reimbursed.
Great. Geez, that part was nervous for me. Okay, so we had the motion, we had the discussion. Does anybody else have anything on that discussion? If not, we can take a vote, please.
Fran Hudson.
Yes.
Doris LeBranch.
Yes.
Lee Trahan.
Yes.
Ray Karen.
Yes.
Mike Joseph.
Yes.
And Katie Otis.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0 with 1 absent.
And moving on to resolution number 25, 2026. It is a motion to approve resolution, what I just said, 25, 2026, to authorize a donation in the amount of $50 from the undesignated fund balance account to the Winslow Community Cupboard. This is sponsored by Katie. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
And could you please?
Yeah, definitely. So currently, the Winslow Community Cupboard owns 2 properties, although one of those properties is currently under contract and being ready to be sold. So legally, they can only have an abatement of property taxes on 1 property. So because they had 2 this year, they ended up with a property tax bill of $5,700 when normally they would have none. So thanks to Audra and her efforts, we found out that we can't abate the taxes because it's not a private property. But if they paid the taxes, then we could donate half back to them. And they do amazing work in the community, and so really hopeful that we can support giving back 50% of the taxes so that they can reinvest it in the programs that they run.
Would the understanding too that, thank you so much for what you guys do. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing you do. But also with the understanding that we do donate $1,500 towards the food cupboard. We donate that as a town. So we're already giving you that money. And now with this on top of it, and in the abatement too of the $3,000 from their other property. So like you said, it's a very worthy cause. I just wanted people to understand that they got confused because of
That's
the
right,
double
non-typical.
properties, and you can only have an abatement on one, but then they found out you can't do an abatement on businesses, only private homes, that they were kind of stuck. So then, Audra, again, thank you, they came up with a very good way to try to get it done, which was, and they were good enough to offer up the half payment, and we would donate it back. That's the only way we can do it to help out the food cupboard. And that's what we're looking at now. That's the discussion. Anybody else? Let's go for a vote.
Doris LaBranch,
Yes.
Lee Tran,
Yes.
Ray Karen,
Yes.
Mike Joseph,
Yes.
Katie Otis.
Yes.
And Fran Hudson.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0 with 1 absent.
And I want to say thank you for all you do.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Moving on to discussion items. The first one up, I believe, has been on there more than 30 days, so I
Yes, it
think,
has.
in all fairness, it has to be removed because it wasn't taken care of or done within 30 days. It should be removed, and if somebody wants to do it late at another time, they can. So I'm going to remove that, actually. It doesn't take a vote. And we're going to go on to B, update on vacant buildings, vacant and abandoned buildings. Was pretty, that was mine, I sponsored that again, as I do each meeting, because I just want the people to understand that we are not forgetting about it. That's why I bring it up at every meeting. It's moving along quite well. Our town manager's doing a very good job, as well as Amos, our code enforcement officer. And I think we answered some of the questions earlier, but go ahead.
I could add a little bit. So of the 14 on the list, I want to say initially we had more than 14, but 4 have been removed. One house was demoed. So one of the properties no longer exists, which is amazing. Of another 8 NOVs that were sent, notice of violations, 2 were delivered, 6 were returned to us. So that's part of that process of now going to the sheriff's department, the county sheriff. 6 owners currently are also working with the town. There's 3 new additions, and then the other 3 are in works with code enforcement. So there's multiple layers to this. There's a lot of moving parts, but we're very much so active with this list.
I, for one, will say I'm very, very happy that it's moving forward with taking care of some of these buildings that can
Same
turn
here.
into dangerous buildings.
It can.
And they're eyesores for your town of Winslow. And they're vacant buildings for kids to climb into and get hurt, and the homeless. So moving forward, I thank you, Mark, you and Amos again, for being steadfast on this. I'm sure
Thank
the
you.
people appreciate it as well. And if anybody sees vacant buildings that they feel have been vacant, that should be, you should contact the town manager and let him know, okay, that you've got other properties that can be added to that list as well.
Through the chair.
Yes, Mike?
Which building, can you say which building was demoed?
Amos, do you have that address off the top of your head?
Yes, 137 Haywood Road.
On the Haywood Road? Okay, thank you.
It was purchased by another individual. They demoed the existing mobile home, got a building permit for that, got a building permit to expand the concrete slab and install ADA.
Good, thank you, Amos. Thank you, Mark.
And if I may, through the chair, Amos has done an incredible job with this. This is pretty involved, and this is just one part of his position here with the town. I mean, you have to consider he's working with all the contractors. It's busy. It's summertime. So the expectation is, because we're taking this fight on now, it's a lot of work to begin with. But once you start chipping away at this list, we're hoping in the next year or so you could really make some serious headway with how many buildings are vacant in a building or abandoned. At the very least, many of these properties have now filled out their vacant building permits. So that's also important too. Some of them weren't paying those. So those are actually getting chipped away at as well.
And with the vacant building permit comes a list of things they need to follow, correct?
Yes, a list of, and a timeline to also follow that. So, yes.
Through the chair. So in other words, to explain to the people, when they get a vacant building permit, they still have to take care of the properties.
Yes,
So it
still have
does-
to upkeep.
Okay, so in other words, it doesn't disvalue the properties of adjoining properties, is that correct?
No, it doesn't. You have to maintain property
Okay.
maintenance standards per the ordinances here in town.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, moving on to C, Winslow Farmers Market, that's Doris.
Hi, everyone. I was hoping to have a representative here from the committee, but she is not able to be here tonight. The committee has selected Christina Hallett as the chair, In the meantime, I will serve as the liaison between the town council and the community and the committee until we get things further along. Right now, they currently have about 5 vendors with a very strong interest in participating. The final number of vendors will determine the number of spaces required at the Fort Halifax. They're hoping to have the farmers market 6 months during the nice summer warm months at Fort Halifax, and we're hoping to collaborate during the winter months with the VFW here in Winslow. So the farmers market would be something all year long. Right now, the committee is working to establish the market as a nonprofit or LLC. They're trying to open a bank account and determine the cost for signage and advertising. This will help determine whether a vendor fee will be necessary or not. The biggest hurdle for vendors right now is insurance cost. That's one of their biggest concern. Christina is researching options and pricing with several insurance carriers. Like I said, the goal is to start operating the market first at Fort Halifax for 6 months of the year and collaborate with the VFW during the winter months. I want to emphasize that we want the farmers market not only to include farmers, but vendors as well. So we want to welcome bakers, crafters, if you produce honey or baked goods, I'm thinking soaps, candles, you name it. We want this to be something for everyone. And let me see. Right now, the committee is working to work through the logistics and they're very encouraged by the strong community interest. And I do want to say that our wonderful new police chief has given me another point of contact to network with. So things are moving. Things are moving in the right direction. And as soon as we get some dollar amount on the insurance costs, that's the biggest hurdle right now. And I'm hoping that the next meeting will have a little more progress made, and Christina will be here herself in person to give you that update. That's all I've got.
Thank you, because now you have to give more. Because you're
no, I do want to say, on the next item, we have Chief Morris who's going to do the thank yous for that.
Vincent Morris, your police chief and Winslow resident. So I'd like to start by thanking council, one, for selecting me. I appreciate the appointment to the position, which gave me the opportunity to do things like this in my town. This is something I've wanted to do for many, many years. What I'd like to do right now is call my team up. So Kelly Marble from Bangor Savings Bank. So when I first came here, we talked about, teamwork. That was kind of big on, the board selection process. I don't like that mic too close. And this was one of the ventures that I had to select a good team. Todd, he's been in community policing, South End officer, community resource officer. He's done this for many, many years. So for him, this was old hat stuff. It was just kind of dusting him off and getting him back on the road to do this. Kelly, as you know, Kelly has done a ton too for the town. A lot of, works with the kitchen and some other events, which I don't really want to talk about because I would do no justice to that. But I do want to talk about her involvement with this event. So when Todd and I talked about doing this, he said, I know who we can go to. Let's go talk to Kelly. So initially, we went and met with Kelly, and she had something planned already for September. And so we talked about it. We're like, you know what, that's kind of in line with what we're doing. Let's go ahead and bring this together. And Kelly, she was on board with it. She's like, great. You guys can do the heavy lifting. I'm kidding, you didn't say that. But so no, I mean, it was a great partnership. With Bangor Savings Bank, they really helped us out, stepped up, and helped contact some of these businesses. And I'll tell you, in total, we had about 25 different businesses that were either there or supported the event in one way or another. And all we did was talk to the businesses. It wasn't anything difficult. It was one of those things that, hey, we went in, let them know what our plans were, And just, the businesses were very, very happy to, take part in this. And that just tells me future events like people are talking about and have energy for, you have the business support. That is there. The community support's there. We did this in 3 weeks. So, and we had zero budget for the event and zero budget for advertisement. And we still got the word out, right? Because Todd had some contacts on the news. We were able to get on the news and get the word that way. And as well as, our free Facebook posts as well. But, so anyway, so what I'm saying is things like this can be done at a low cost to taxpayers, because at the end of the day, that's kind of what I wanted to do, was not put this bill on the taxpayers. It was more of a bill basically on the business owners, that wanted to help contribute, and, and they do. Most businesses want to give. They just want to give it to a good cause. They just want to toss money out there and, and have it go to waste. Some gave me the high eyebrow at first, like, hey, is this something you could actually do? And, after talking to them for a little bit, like, yeah, we can do this. So yeah, I mean, I think it was very well received by the businesses and the residents as well. And I think we're going to continue, these type of events. And I think, next year or the next one will just be better. Like I said, I couldn't have done this without a team. It was a lot. It's a lot. This kind of stuff is a lot. And for one person to do it, I had lost my mind. But again, I had these guys keeping me grounded and helping me out and give me some good direction. So, very, very thankful for these two right here. So, you guys, Todd, you?
Yeah, I just want to thank the council for showing up and helping us out. Huge thank you to Public Works. They gave us a truck and some equipment that we needed. The school department stepped up and helped out as well. So it was just a very good collaboration with everybody, and especially with Bangor Savings. Absolutely.
And I just want to say thank you to Winslow PD and Winslow Fire for showing up, and what an amazing group of people. I mean, I have not been a lifelong resident of Winslow, but I can tell you right now that this town has made me feel like I have been, and it really showed with this event how much this community means to each other. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. and
Thank you.
all.
Thank you all.
Any questions?
No, there's one other very important person we are forgetting, and her name is Mrs. Chief Morris. Please say thank you to Erica for all her
She's
hard
watching.
work. So thank you, Erica, for on the hottest day of the summer, during that humidity, standing in front of that hot grill all day long. We appreciate you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
she was there all 4 or 5 hours cooking straight while
And
I walked
standing
around
on
and
that
shook
cement,
hands and
it was hard.
high-five people, and
Smile on her face.
she was still
So-
cooking. She was still cooking.
So thank you so much.
If I may, I'd like to also thank the team for putting on the event, but to my surprise, going down there, I was totally blown away that all food and anything was free to the public. And that was absolutely huge for the community. Thank you.
I hate to, there was one other a moment that we had while we were there, and touched my wife too, was there was a mother of 4. And, I've been telling the officers this as well, and this is why it kind of means a lot. Came up to her, my wife, and said, thank you for putting on this event. I have 4 kids, and I can't afford to go to the fair. So this was the next best thing for them,
Nice.
and they had a great time, and, and that's the reward we get, things like that. It's not about, the awards, the accolades and, the praise and all that. It's about those little private interactions that we have that, for us, we take that away, and, we're happy to have it.
And the kids love that helicopter.
I love the helicopter.
Thank you so much.
No, you couldn't go for a ride.
Thank you.
Tried.
Not yet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Doris, once again.
The next item is a recommendation I wanted to pass through everyone. It's very difficult, even for a town council member, to reach the planning board, and I would like to establish an email for a planning board, something generic, planningboard@winslowmaine.gov, so residents and council members can reach out to the planning board through email, not have to go to a meeting, because we're all meeting out. And I wanted to know what everyone's thoughts were about having that email established.
I remember we already spoke about changing that so that you didn't have to. I think it came about because, actually, I had contacted someone from the planning board. I looked it up on the webpage and called him. The number was right there. And then that person, I think, brought it up that they didn't like that. So I can understand they don't want their phone numbers on there, their personal phone numbers. But if it's possible, you need to have a contact. And I don't say go through this one, go through this one, go through. If somebody, anybody, wants to contact the planning board, they should have a email, town email, if possible, to be able to contact someone on the plan. I don't care if it's just one person, but you need to be able to reach somebody. The community needs to reach out and be able to reach somebody as well.
Yeah, there was talk at a council meeting in the past about a lot of people didn't want their numbers or their addresses on the website, and that we would have a staff contact for those committees, which is currently on the roster on the website. But now I guess, you want.
Are they allowed to have a town email? They're
Yeah,
on
so
the
we've
board.
talked to
So-
IT, and IT said that we can set that up, and I think they're in the process of doing that, dependent on tonight's discussion.
Yes.
And that we would put kind of an out-of-office reply out there, so if anyone were to email, they would automatically get a response. They should be contacting the code officer for any applications that need to be filed, or any costs that need to be paid for a planning board application. Should start with the code officer.
Of course.
Anyway, but that kind of out-of-office response would state that, and the planning board
I
chair.
don't understand why you need an out-of-office. We don't have out-of-office.
It's an automatic reply.
It's an automatic reply. So
Sorry,
there's more to this as well. So it was a great recommendation. I've spoken with the chair, completely on board. We're all on board with it, with
Okay.
having a town planning board
Just one
email
account.
address. So you would have an automatic reply that essentially has an entire directory of information for, pertaining to things you may be looking for. Now, it wouldn't just be one person monitoring this email. Well, there would be, but they would all have to be privy to it, because remember, it's a board. So it can't just be one person answering and giving information, or, you know what I mean? Like it has to go through the board for anything official. But it would be a great place to get immediate response or direction. But if it is an actual question that doesn't pertain to code or anyone, that's when somebody on the board can respond for all board members to see. And most likely, a lot of those questions or inquiries are going to direct you, if you're working on something that needs to go in front of the planning board, they'll recommend that you schedule that to do so. But it was a great recommendation. Great recommendation. They're on board. We're on board. So
Okay.
we're currently working with IT to make that a thing.
Okay, awesome.
Is that where people, if they wanted to do a public comment at one of their meetings? Because I was approached by a few people saying do they even have public comment at these meetings?
Yeah, so there's been change over there. Again, we've lost members, and there's a bit of a changeover. So I think they're going to tailor how these meetings go, and I think it would be worthwhile to include the public to be able to speak up at these meetings. So I intend to be at the next one. So I really want to see how this operates again. It's been a little while since I've been able to attend. And there's been times where there hasn't been anything on the agenda, so there hasn't been a meeting. But based on some of the feedback we've gotten, that is something I've heard as well after the last meeting that occurred. So that's definitely on the radar.
So is that something that we can find out if they're going to?
Yes.
I mean, I think the public would like to know if
Sure.
they go to a meeting, if they're going to be allowed to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good question.
So if, say, it's okay, say the planning board wants to have that, then how about the rec board? How about all the other boards in town?
Sure.
If it's like, if
should be.
you're
If
gonna
any-
demand
there
for
should
one,
be a-
you're gonna demand. Say the rec board, is it the chairman of the rec board that would answer those questions? Or would it be the entire rec board, or would it be Amanda?
Yeah, that would have to be determined.
Well, they could present it at a meeting.
I could tell you, it probably wouldn't be Amanda. She already does enough, and she works for the town. So these boards, of course, are created via the council. So that's more on the council side of things and not the town side for doing that.
Yeah.
The involvement that the town has is helping guide those meetings and be a part of it, but it's really the boards that are running those meetings. And again, they're put on and put in place by you all, the council.
And
So-
they're serving the public, so they should be.
course.
They should
People
be
should be
aware.
able to reach them if they
Yeah.
need to.
Yeah, that's been part of the fact finding with these boards anyway. There's a lot of committees and boards that have existed that haven't been filled in years that, quite honestly, may not need to be in service anymore. So we're still going through that nice
Yes.
big laundry list of committees that exist.
I just think if you're gonna do it for the planning board, then you have to look at the overall structure of the town of Winslow, all the boards, and then at the same time, make a policy in place that addresses concerns for citizens for all boards. And, you know, my concern of that would be, I'm great for transparency and finding information, but we have a hard time sometimes to fill these boards.
You do.
You know, if you get inundated with the public, all of a sudden, just like, why would I volunteer then for that?
Well, and that's why the automatic reply is such an important feature to email address such as that. So it's not at any given day somebody is sending 20 emails to the planning board looking for simple questions to be answered, and now somebody's working a full-time job answering these emails
Right.
when they're volunteering their time to be on these boards.
Yes.
Hence why we came up with the idea of, well, there should be some sort of automatic reply that answers most of the inquiries that they get as a board. Again, as per Audra's point, a lot of this information that people search for or ask is going to go through code anyway.
Yeah.
And that's why that's been the procedure in place, the process in place is it goes through code. If code feels it needs to go to the planning board, he brings it to the planning board, and then they go from there.
Yeah.
But this is a good way to allow somebody to reach out to the planning board and, again, just have a kind of overview of what, is already in place. But I definitely hear your concerns. We have them too.
And as we all sit up here, we can attest to the fact that we don't get that many emails. Really. I mean, you may get 3 emails a week, if that. It's not over and done.
I'd
You're
also
not-
be hard pressed to compare council to boards. It depends.
I don't know, the planning board
kinda-
could be pretty impressive. Planning board.
Sure.
It's very difficult, even when I want to reach the planning board, to get a human to answer their phone. If I send an email, I've got documentation on such and such a day, I sent an email. Even if it goes to Amos, if he's the first point of contact, that's great, but I need to know that that ball's rolling in the right direction. Somebody's got a hold of that. And from Amos, he can direct it to whoever it needs to go to.
I personally feel most communications probably don't need to be directed right to the planning board when code's
Right.
going to answer 99% of those.
So
questions.
the email address can say planning board at Winslow, Maine, and Amos can answer it. And he can direct it from there.
I also hesitate to add
Or
that to
Amos.
another.
Thank you, Amos.
We're not gonna. I would push back on taking boards and putting responsibility of boards on town employees. But I hear
Get my
your
point.
your
In the
point.
meantime,
Which is why they should have an email, so it doesn't fall on Amos. It needs to go somewhere. If someone-
Exactly, and
if
there
someone
has to be
a question.
documentation. If somebody has a concern and a legitimate concern, there has to be a way to document, because I don't want a constituent reaching out to me and say, I tried to reach the planning board and they're not calling me back. There has to be documentation.
That constituent should be calling Amos, because they don't have a number, but Amos also has an email address that you can email him any planning board question.
But it might not have anything to do with
With him.
Amos. It may have
Right.
something to do with something else
Right.
that just the planning board can answer. I think that's the thing that needs to be addressed. It may not be anything to do with all that.
Are they
It's
or are they
something-
not public servants? There has to be at least one email for constituents to be able to reach them.
Yeah, I see both sides.
Just-
But with that being said, we are working on creating
Okay.
this email
Yeah.
address.
Oh, yeah.
Why serve on a committee if you don't want people bothering you and emailing you?
Okay. So we can move right along.
Well, we get that. Just one more question. You might want to investigate too. The planning board is a kind of a special board. I'm not saying it's great importance, but it is.
It
And
is.
they handle a lot of issues.
That's what I just said a minute ago.
Not as great as us, of course,
No.
but the planning board does do a lot of issues and
Yes.
very sensitive issues.
Sure.
I know that, not so much here, but other towns, have a very inexpensive way to Skype the meetings and then as informational that put them on the webpage. You might want to investigate not televising them, but having a way to record the meetings so that you can put them on the site, which might be,
Live
again, to
stream.
look at it. Live stream, yeah, live stream.
I'll come back to you next budget season.
So,
Crossroads.
Bottom line is, are we good with creating one email account for the planning board?
Already in the works.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. We're all done Doris's stuff. And we're moving on to the speed limit on the China Road. Kate?
So I just kind of wanted to open a conversation about it. I received some communications just from some residents and I think there was a business owner as well or two that just shared concern about the speed, especially I think there's more going on in that area now than there ever was. So I wanted input from everyone, right? Like PD, Paul. I think generally kind of coming, I don't have the email on me, I'm really sorry, but I think over by like Pine View in that area, is that, do you remember the email that you
Yes, that's the
forwarded?
Augusta Road.
I didn't see
Okay.
an email.
It's
Okay.
still yours.
What's that?
It's still your district.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't bring the email with me, maybe we have to circle back to it.
No, I
but
think
we
I
can
remembered
do that.
reading some of it.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was sent to the whole council.
Yeah, I think it
email.
was the
I know it was China Road, but now,
I have my emails right
Oh,
here. What
perfect.
day was it?
oh my gosh, Doris, I don't know. Maybe.
So I
It's
remember.
from Audra, I think it was from Audra, and she
Audra?
forwarded it to all of us.
I don't know. I don't remember an email.
Or you can't remember one of the 50 that you got.
Right, right.
I think Paul had mentioned DOT does do speed limits, so there's no changing that speed limit.
Are they
unless
looking to change it?
They change it.
Well, I mean, I guess that's what I'm kind of exploring is, do we think it's worth talking to them about at all, based on what we observe and what's going on in that area, or not?
I did find the email. It was Tanya who sent that.
Oh, okay.
And we're proposing 35 miles an hour be extended along the China Road to the Carter Memorial Drive. The speed limit is currently 45 heading north along China Road, just before the Bassett Road. The reason is due to the location of businesses along the stretch, as well as the busy intersection of Carter Memorial Drive and China Road. The speed limit in front of our business is 45 miles an hour, and given that the amount of traffic pulling in and out, I feel 35 miles an hour would be more reasonable. And this is from the Director, Health and Safety Environment at Elanco.
Thank you, Doris, I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Through the chair,
Yes, Mike.
I have something to add to that. I know we had talked to Paul about the Augusta Road, and from the light onto Pine View, that's 45 miles an hour. People that are coming out of the trailer park that's on the right meet these vehicles that are doing probably over 45 when they're coming out of that, and there's been some close calls there. And we talked to Paul about see if DOT would change that to at least down to 35 after the fact, after Pine View, because I think they're still going to move forward and putting that new park on the other side for 55 and older, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it would be detrimental to lower that speed limit there. As far as the China Road, yeah, it's fast. I live on the China Road. Coming down that hill before you get to my place, you get tractor trailer trucks there. There's no 50 miles an hour there whatsoever. And they're coming around that corner. I tell my customers, take the further driveway to the right, and if you're going towards Waterville, that way there, give more time to slow down. There was many times there that I see, before we had a street light, I see tire tracks as far as squeal marks 60 feet because somebody's doing a U-turn in my driveway, going out the wrong way, and coming close and getting hit. And then I started using my own light from my building, especially in the wintertime, to give more visibility. But they're coming down that hill, especially tractor-trailer trucks, they're cranking right along. They're not doing 60 miles an hour, and they're 50. They're doing well over that.
Even if you dropped it to 40, they're still going to go 50 or
Yeah.
60. They're not going to slow down.
Well, I talked to Officer Vinny and Chief Vinny and asked him, put some kind of sign there just to make them aware, it's 50 miles an hour, a flashing sign like we were talking about to be there, just to make people aware because, you're going right along and this is 6 o'clock in the morning and they're moving right along. They figured out there's not that much traffic. They're moving right along. There has been one fatality back about 20 some odd years. A woman came out of my driveway, didn't look, wound up going in front of a recycling truck and killed her instantly. So, just to try to slow it down just a little bit. I mean, yeah, they're going to go over 50, but, 70 and 80 miles an hour and you have a tractor-trailer truck, especially where I have trucks that turn out of my driveway and they have to go out that way. If you have another truck coming down that way, it could be fatal.
Through the chair. To spoil good news, I mean, we're nearing full staff at the police department, which is absolutely amazing. We haven't had that in years, to include adding a K-9 unit. So with
Thank you,
that
Chief
being
Morris.
said, he's done an incredible job. With that being said, I think what's happened in the past was due to being short-staffed, there was a lack of presence on some of these roads, and then people became complacent and comfortable with speeding. So I think, long term, it's going to be helpful having police officers out there policing. They're filling the admin assistant role for the police department, so that's coming as well. You'll hear about that in the next update. But I think that's going to be part of the plan as well, is being able to get the officers back on the road and actually doing police work. But it doesn't mean that we can't still speak to DOT and still request a study to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be worth it if it's not going to cost the town a bunch of money, and if they're willing, it probably would at least give residents peace of mind. So it would be worth it. Mark?
I just wanted to clarify and repeat, Mark, if you could, did you say that our police force, after hiring a new fantastic police chief, brought with him seasoned police officers, and we are now at full staff at the Winslow Police Department?
Yeah, I don't want to rain on his parade. He's the one that brought it here. But yeah, so we have blue pins that have been added to the department, and there's also one going to the academy here shortly, which is great. So you're getting new blood, you got the old blood coming on. So the department's looking incredible. It really
And
is.
I'm going to be one to say that this is the first time in quite a few years that I can actually see police cruisers driving around, which is very good to see again. So Winslow's coming full circle, and it's wonderful to know that our police, especially for the officers themselves, the ones that were there before, can get some much needed rest and safety. And so, again, Chief, great job.
Yeah,
Thank you, Chief
Through the
Morris.
chair, I'd like to add to that. In 5.5 years, we haven't had a full police department. And with the new chief here, we had a complete force after 2 to 3 days. And I'll tell you, it's nice to know that we have a police force that actually has a backup now, which was my biggest concern. Back in the 70s and 80s, I remember there was always 2 police officers at night, and all we had was 1. In fact, we never even had a police officer between the hours of 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. in the last
Which
few
you
years.
can say now, because we do have them.
Yes.
So
And
don't
today,
think
I'll
we-
tell you what, thank you very much, Vinny, for coming in.
And we need to get the word out on the street. People need to slow down.
Just so you know, now that we're full staff, I am gonna write some speed grants. So again, they're gonna pay for overtime for the officers to be out there, not coming at, Winslow taxpayer expense, but state
Wow.
expense. But, so there will be, details out there in that area once we get approved for the grant, and I get my staff together so we can do that. So.
Our chief is fiscally responsible.
It's fiscally responsible.
Through the chair, I'd like to ask you, Vinny, The sign that you were talking about, the flashing signs, we don't have any of those there, right? Am I correct? We don't have those flashing signs as far as speed limit?
Well, there's some deployed already in different areas.
Okay.
Yeah, I was told we have a couple
Yeah.
that we're trying to get working on, so, and they are expensive signs, and I believe we got those from DOT at some point. But,
Okay.
But, yeah. So, yeah, the speed studies, so some of those signs can do speed studies.
Yeah.
I don't exactly know if ours can or not, but they can. But DOT, they have different ways to do their speed studies, and I'm sure we'll be talking about reaching out to DOT and requesting a speed study and see how that goes. So that's not a heavy lift on our end. So whether they do it or not, that's going to be up to them. We'll request it, and we send it in writing, and, see how that goes.
I think that would be a great thing to do, especially even though we have a sign just before you get to my place, it says trucks entering. Okay, that corner comes up really quick. I think with a sign, just making them aware that, hey, you're going over 50. It's not 70 miles an hour.
Yeah. A lot of those signs that you're talking about, they're temporary.
Yes.
And depending on the speed limit of the road, factors in how big a sign it is. Like you've seen the one by the school, that's a smaller one, that's appropriate for that.
Right.
That speed limit. For speeds of that caliber, you gotta have a bigger sign.
Okay.
So,
Okay, thank you very much, Chief.
you're welcome.
Through the chair, before we wrap things up, I do have one other statement I'd like to
You
say.
go for it, Doris.
I want to always close off on a positive note. I have a local artist who has reached out to me. I think at this stage she wants to remain anonymous. She would like to donate her time and her talent to create a piece of artwork for Winslow. She is looking for someone who is a fabricator. She has currently a welder, but she is also looking for an alternate welder, and she's looking for someone who does metalworking. So if you are listening and you are skilled with doing metalworking, fabricating, or welding, please reach out to me, and I'll be that middleman until she is ready to get her artwork up and running.
Did you throw donating time in that?
She's donating her time, her talent, and at no cost to the town of Winslow. So if you are interested, reach out to me.
Wonderful. Everybody good? You know what comes next? I now adjourn this meeting.
Do I have a first and a second?
I'm sorry, can I have a first to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in
And I have
favor?
lots of signatures.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Doris, are you in favor?
Yes.
Got another 30 minutes of signatures.